Hi y'all, my name's Jess Richardson and we are in my booty shop tonight, or today, and of course we're again in a tent. So please excuse the Sunday afternoon noise of all of our neighbors and us doing stuff. Like, this is real life, and that's what we're committed to, is just being the honest, true us. With me today is one of my closest friends, Julene, who I've actually met since Hurricane Harvey, and we came together around artistry and what we do and create. And so she's my very first interview, like real interview. So I would love to introduce you to one of our artisans and my dear friend Julene. And you know, we got Quincy peeking in the background. He's always good like that. So why do you reclaim? Why do you recycle? Why do you what do you enjoy about creating? These are some of her signs, which I absolutely adore. I love them, and they're made from all recycled wood, twine. They're absolutely beautiful. So what brought you to this?
I think just a love of art all along. You know, got a lot of artistic people in my family, and so when Juliana was little, we did crafts at home, and it just kind of went from there. I started painting and woodworking here in Texas when we came here, but as far as reclaiming, that kind of started after Harvey mostly. You know, I would repurpose things, make you know, something out of nothing, take an old chandelier and make a teapot, coffee, or you know, teacup light out of it. So I guess I've always repurposed, but it's been after Harvey.
Okay, so Harvey had a big impact on you.
Yeah, had an impact on our family, our community, all our friends here. Everyone was impacted, really. You know, afterwards it was just like somehow it became acceptable to. At first it wasn't. You'd see piles of your neighbors, of your city's stuff out on the corner. And you kind of felt, at least for myself, I felt like I couldn't take that tin or that piece of wood because it was part of their life. It was part of their house that they lost. And so, but then after a while it became acceptable. Like, if you had a fence that was down and your neighbor put his fence on the corner, you got a fence out of it. Right. Now you may have to alter it because it's Harvey broken. Right. But that's a good thing about it. You know, that's what made me start repurposing on Harvey wood, tin, and just my love of building things.
And your stuff is so beautiful, and you've created it in your family too, because your daughter is also one of our artisans, Juliana, who is a ceramicist, and we'll catch an interview with her soon. But it's just truly in your blood. But what I think is so fascinating about what you were saying is that it went from being really socially unacceptable to go dig through like debris piles or garbage piles on the side of the road to where everyone was doing it. And it's because we all lost so much. And suddenly, like, the piles were enormous, like entire buildings. And there were these rules where it's like, if it's within 3 feet of the curb, you can take it.
Yes.
Well, there's an entire house within 3 feet of the curb. And I know for me, and it sounds like for you too, that once we realized, wow, there's amazing stuff in there, that we could just go get it, and it's okay. In fact, it actually gives people hope. When you take something like an old fence and turn it into something beautiful.
Even if it's in, like, from their own houses. The very first thing that I repurposed from Harvey was a bed, and I made a bench out of it and gave it back to the person's house that it was in front of.
Oh.
And I know a few other people have done that. I worked with one other gentleman here, and he did the same thing, you know. And so it's like, it's hard to repurpose somebody else's life that was affected by something that they had no control over, and that was so devastating. Really, it was in Rockport, and still is. But it's also nice to find the silver lining. Something
Right.
beautiful out of something that's laying there rubble.
Right.
You know, I think that's a good feeling.
It's so sentimental, so heartfelt, and really, I've got goosebumps just talking about this because that is always, there's always a storm in life. It doesn't always affect your entire community, but in fact, most of the time the storms are within us. But if we can create something as a memorial to that storm and find the silver lining,
Yes.
it creates hope every time you look at that item.
Yeah.
And that's
True.
That's my greatest joy.
I love that too, and I hear so many people say, well, Rockport's going to be better, or Rockport's going to be different, and it's going to be all of that.
Yeah.
All of that, because you'll see signs on side of businesses that are homemade now.
Right.
You know, not everyone can always go to the sign maker and get them now.
Right.
You know, but they're still advertising their business and coming back.
Right.
And so I think it's Harvey, you know, you didn't win.
Right. Well, and that's something that I love about Texas.
Yeah.
Is that the culture here is like, so many of the government systems have failed the community, and yet, or the individuals of the community, and yet the people are just saying, I'm going to do better.
Yes.
And I'm going to create something. And
Yes.
that courage and that strength, as I've lived in lots of different places in the country, Texas is really just known for we're going to do this. And
I can add it to.
I've admired that. What's done is done, and we're just going to move forward from here.
For the most part, you've really seen our whole community do that.
Yeah.
You know, it'll be a testament on the 25th.
Right.
How Rockport gets together and celebrates something so ugly, but yet
Right.
so beautiful.
Well, I just want to thank you for being here and being my
Yes.
first person to interview, and it's just so beautiful. I value you in my life, and
Thank you. I think Justice Booty is doing a wonderful thing, bringing together local artisans that are reclaiming, repurposing, helping our life grow, helping us to rebuild, helping us, you know, buy groceries at some point throughout the month and pay bills. I mean, this is the real thing. Not all of us had adequate insurance.
Right.
And some of us did and got taken. And some of us had no insurance. So really, I've seen a community help a city more than any other entity.
Yeah.
And that's been eye-opening. And we're some of us are doing that through repurposing.
Right. It takes all of us.
It does.
It's so beautiful. You keep giving me goosebumps. I just love you.
I love you guys too. And shop Justice Booty, you know?
Yes.
She's supporting our local economy here, our local community, our local artistries, people that have been hit that are coming back and need something like this. So
Thank you. That's really the heart of it, is that the starving artist syndrome is very real. And we felt it in our family, and then as we met people, everyone else was kind of struggling with the same thing. And it was like, well, if this is a problem, how do we solve it? And that's when we took that shift with Justice Booty. And it was like, we can actually solve a problem, not just for us, but for our friends. Because when we first met, it wasn't about selling other people's items.
Actually, it was, Reed and Jess, can you help me fix a wonky shed that was just built by a wonky contractor, carpenter? And I seen that Reed and them were building stuff. Came over, introduced myself, and look at how it blossomed. You know?
And it's really just solving problems and meeting needs, and then journeying life together, because it's the feedback and interaction that we all have within a community. More than just individual businesses and lives. It's us coming together, and when it rains, like, we help each other. And that, because rain's a big deal suddenly. So
we resource, and one has something, then the other one has it too. If they need it, call in the middle of the night, whatever it is, because rain doesn't have a time schedule.
No, it doesn't.
And it's different for us now. A lot of people's tarps are ripping off their roofs.
Right.
Because of high wind and the storms that we've had. So rain is real. Down here.
When it is not like a light little drizzle, it is like a downpour. But having people to call and having that network and really sharing resources is the beauty of it to me. That is a community rebuilding, and that's something remarkable that is so much bigger than our family, Jess's Booty, your family, or any of our other artisans. It's all of us really just linking arms and doing this together, because you can't boil the ocean.
Right.
We've got a big thing to overcome, and the only way to do it is together.
Together, and I think you'll find that. I think Rockport will take years and years to rebuild, and it's going to be us that do it.
Yep.
For each other, for ourselves, and we come together.
Oh, this is so good. It's so good. Okay, well, thank you all for watching. We love you. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
Repurpose.
Yes.